How many dragons are there in Power Rangers? We all remember the iconic Dragon Zord, the giant robot piloted by the original Green Ranger, Tommy Oliver. I mean, that song lives rent-free in my head. And so does this meme. But how many dragons have there been over the 30-year span of the franchise? Well, honestly, it's difficult to say. The show is obsessed with dinosaurs, having had 4 dino-themed teams, 5 if you count Cosmic Fury, and let's not get into if dragons are just dinosaurs, because I want dragon to mean a large, scaly animal. But there are a lot of monsters of the week with dragon themes, and a few dragon Zords. Honestly, there are only 2 in the whole show that actually fulfill my desire for fire-breathing mythical beasts. But let's get the other stuff out of the way, starting with the Zords. The Dragon Zord, who, by the way, lay dormant under the bay in Angel Grove for about 28 years. We do see that Tommy has donned the mantle of the Green Ranger again in the Once and Always Netflix special, which takes place in 2023. So that would mean he's in contact with his old Zord buddy again. But honestly, thinking about the Zord being alone all those years makes me a special kind of sad. Like when I found out that the Mars rover was programmed to sing itself happy birthday. When the Mighty Morphin team went from Dino to Thunder, the Red Ranger upgraded from a T-Rex to a dragon. I love the little animation on this guy, but it does beg the question, is Serpentera a dragon? You know, Zed's Zord that could only hold a charge for about 5 minutes before the battery died. I mean, it looks a lot like the Dragon Thunder Zord, and clearly could be a Chinese dragon, but it has serpent in the name, so I'm not real sure on that one. Dear Lost Galaxy, you can call this Galactabeast a condor until the cows come home, but it will always be a dragon in my heart. In Time Force, Frax has a Dragontron Megazord. Then you have the Mystic Dragon Zord, which is super creepy because in Mystic Force, the Rangers are the Zords. So when 4 of the Zords combine into a dragon and the 5th rides them around like a pony, that's just something that would be really uncomfortable to discuss the next day. And much as I want to see that conversation, they probably only talked about it to their therapists. In Operation Overdrive, Moltor creates the Dragonizer Megazord. I don't know how much it really looks like a dragon, but it is in the name, so that's fair. The Blue Samurai Ranger has a Dragon Folding Zord, which is really interesting because you would think dragons would be more of a Red Ranger thing, but there are actually 2 Blue Rangers with Dragon Zords. Stereotypically, the Red Megaforce Ranger has the Gosei Dragon Megazord. The Super Megaforce Rangers also have access to the Mystic Dragon, summoned from the powers of Mystic Force, but theirs is a robot, not 4 people smushed together. Which brings us to the second Blue Ranger to have a Dragon Megazord, the Ninja Steel Blue Ranger. I really like the design on this. It's a very traditional knight in shining armor kind of dragon that he always gets on by jumping. How does he jump that high? I mean, it's in the clouds. Can he do that without his suit on? And if so, could he do it to get somewhere really fast if he was late? In an episode of Beast Morphers, Captain Chaku is shown to drive a Zord called the Reptilo Beast, which is a really badass name. Looks a lot like a dragon. And such a loser doesn't deserve such a cool Zord. I mean, that dude has literally been avoiding being a father because he's insecure about his face. The final Dragon Zord really barely got any screen time, though more than the rest of the Zords in that season, since it has its own episode. It's the Cosmic Dragon Zord from Cosmic Fury, the final season of the main Power Rangers arc. Now the monsters of the week, starting with the main villain, because this is about to get so philosophical, I can't even be expected to keep anything straight. I think Prince Olympus is a dragon, because he looks like a dragon as a baby, and he looks like a dragon when he goes mega. And I just think the show doesn't call him that since he already has a proper name. And I mean, Just look at this and tell me it's not a dragon. Dino Thunder has a dragon-themed monster of the week named Ruby Dragon. In Mystic Force, there's Megahorn, a member of the 10 Terrors. And I know what you're thinking. Sculpin of the 10 Terrors also looks like a dragon, and his Sentai counterpart is even named Dagon, like dragon without the R. No. He has the head of a fish, okay? He is a fish head godman, not a dragon. Don't let the front view fool you if he turns his head a whole fish. Jungle Fury's main villain, Daishi, is totally a dragon. It's just hard to remember that because he spends so much of the season possessing Jared, who has a lion spirit and therefore a lion-themed suit. But he breaks out the huge gold multi-headed dragon look for the final battle. He's also got this henchman Scorch who has a dragon animal spirit. In Operation Overdrive, one must wonder, at what point do Moltor's monsters go from lizard to dragon? I mean, how beefy does a fire-themed lizard have to get before you start calling it a dragon? In our universe, we have Komodo dragons, and they're smaller than any of the lava lizards, who are his weakest henchmen. So are, all of his monsters dragons? This is the philosophical part. Please argue in the comment section because I need an answer to this. Draknarok is a Sporex from Dino Fury, and he really looks like a dragon, but I don't think a spore can technically be a dragon. But he does look like one. The moment you've been waiting for. Who's the most dragon of the whole show? The most classic dragon of the whole franchise is in Time Force's Beware the Night. Wes fights a fire-breathing dragon, who is the pet of the Black Knight, to steal the battle fire which he uses to don his battleizer. He then brags to Katie and Lucas that he slayed a 3-headed dragon, and gets caught in this lie by Jen, to whom he had told it was a 2-headed dragon, which in my opinion results in none of them believing he even fought a single-headed one to begin with. Also, he is so calm for the fact that he has just like dragon meat chunks falling all around him.
Well.
Future tangent. This episode annoyed me so much the first time I watched it because the White Knight is like, "You slayed the evil dragon." And I'm like, okay, why do we believe you that the dragon was evil? It's basically just a guard animal. We don't know. We all know dragons are very protective of caves. I just feel like it's inappropriate for him to have just been like, "I'm gonna blow this thing up." And then for the White Knight to just be like, "I'm gonna tell him that was evil so he doesn't feel bad about it." Like, it all seems very sus to me. My first place pick has to go to Fireheart. And while he's not as meaty as the unnamed dragon in Time Force, he's way more of a character than that or any other Zord. So I'd say he's the truest dragon in the whole franchise. He starts out as a little egg, hatches into a baby, and then Rangers and company raise him. He becomes arguably one of the coolest battleizers. He may not be the most recognizable dragon, because anything Mighty Morphin always takes that slot, but you can't argue he's the #1 dragon. Do I regret putting these horns on because they undoubtedly jiggle anytime I say anything emphatically? I don't know. I'm gonna find out while I'm editing this. I'll write it on the screen right here. Did I regret this decision? I'm gonna guess the answer is yes.
Rawr.